Hey ladies, I'm Cassie. Let's talk a couple minutes about purity. Lots of people think that purity is a church thing, just about God making choices for your life that aren't exactly convenient for you. No sex, no cute clothes, you know what, just stay away from guys all the way. But I actually completely disagree with that view. I think that God had a great idea and we messed things up, kind of like with what happened in the garden with the tree. God wanted us to experience awesome friendships and relationships and even marriages, and we mess it up every day by making selfish choices, usually led by deception. Purity was God's idea to bless us, to keep our hearts from being broken, to keep us from running after things that would make us sick, and to keep our hearts focused on the things that actually matter. And if you haven't noticed, God has this thing about not giving up. God loves love, and He wants us to love love like He loves love. So what can that even look like? I'll give you 3 things to chew on. Number 1, purity is not just a physical thing. God is checking out your heart and has that in mind more than anything else. Usually your mind and attitude can get you in a lot more trouble than any other part of you can. So start doing your revisions there. Do you even want purity, or is it all about how far is too far? Is your mind a free-for-all for ideas and pictures that would make Miss Francis Walker blush to see or hear them? What kind of boundaries and limits have you set up to make smart choices when we're talking about purity? What is a wise choice when we're talking about purity? So yeah, check out Philippians 4:8 and Proverbs 4:23, and I'll get you clued up in those areas and help you to better walk in those areas. Number 2, have a healthy respect for romance. Don't let your mind wander constantly. Take those thoughts captive and protect yourself and your friendships. We aren't alive to be loved by people. It's important, but we were alive to be loved by God and to live for Him. Guys, don't ever forget that. As for dating, studies show that people who are constantly in the habit of dating, breaking up, dating, breaking up, dating, breaking up, are actually just setting themselves up for divorce, or divorces, depending on how you look at it, later on, because they didn't take commitment or relationships seriously. Relationships really matter to God. You want another helpful tip? Stay away from romance novels, soap operas, shows, movies, and everything else that glorifies uber romantic situations. They take the focus off of the important parts of relationships and glorify the sexual parts, with plenty of Hollywood mixed in. I'm not trying to be legalistic, but I know from experience that those things just constantly drag your mind back to everything you shouldn't be thinking about. If you start working on your heart now, or letting God work on your heart now, you're going to be able to see romance for what it really is. It's something to be valued, it's something special, and it's perfectly fitting when the time is right, and it's not just all about sex. So, I guess some areas to work on is, do you constantly have a crush on somebody? Maybe you need to do some self-evaluating and some identity checking before you step into any sort of romantic relationship. Or does your idea of love look a lot like Hollywood's? Do you think that's a realistic view? Ask yourself those questions. So yeah, check out 2 Corinthians 10:5 and Song of Solomon's 8:4. So number 3, guys have a lot more to offer than attention. Now some of you might be thinking, I don't know if that's fully true. But guys really do have so much more to offer than just attention. Opposite sex friendships are so invaluable. Not only do you learn a lot, but they have a much lower turnover rate than boyfriends do. And by not seeking their perspective, you're actually missing out on how half of the world thinks. Men reflect characteristics of God's character that women don't. Together, we were made in the image of God. Without understanding, guys, you're actually missing out on the whole picture. Plus, you'd be best to be getting really good at developing healthy friendships with guys. Well, think about it. Number-wise, you're probably related to 40, 50 guys, tops. I mean, unless you have a big family. And then you're going to have an infinite number of guy friendships and coworkers. Like, infinite, or like hundreds, maybe thousands if you live in a huge city. But you're going to only marry or be in a romantic, fully like forever romantic relationship with one guy. Number-wise, it'd be smart to stop spending 90% of your time seeking to be an awesome girlfriend and 90% spending it being an awesome friend. Because you're going to need those relationships, you're going to need those friendships 10 times more than you will the actual other relationships. And by being a better friend, you're going to be actually even better girlfriend. Because you're going to know how guys think and not just look at them and the relationship perspective. So yeah, check those out, 2 Timothy 2:22 and James 1-5. So with these 3 things in mind, ask yourself, what needs to change about my mind, my attitude, my perspective, or my relationships so that I can become the amazing woman of God that He had in mind when He created me? So yeah, Check out those verses. Let them soak into your life. All 6 of them, if you like. And don't believe the lie that purity is something that controls and restrains you. Understand the reality that purity is life for your heart, your friendships, and your relationships. Have an awesome evening, ladies.